in child protective services, and they won't give them back to their loving families because they're making money.
This is a legal system that you're going into. And if you don't know the rules, you will be chewed up and spit out.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Yeah. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
It's okay. It's okay.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This is someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
It doesn't say on this order that it was not proven. It says untrue. I immediately knew that, okay, well, this ain't over.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
I came into this field to help families, not destroy them.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fight CPS, the Civil Rights Struggle. I'm your host, Amanda Cisco, and I'm here with my guest tonight, Tracy. Tracy, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Tracy. What do you do?
Well, currently I'm working at McDonald's, but I have a degree in criminal. I've had several businesses. I was one of the first females on Angie's List.
Congratulations. That's huge. Yeah.
I don't even know where to begin with my story. CPS has allowed I don't even know what you would call him because he won't give me my divorce. But I don't consider him my husband anymore. He has really put me through hell these past 4 years since we've separated.
I'm sorry.
My youngest daughter is 5. And he left me for the hairdresser. I mean, this woman did my hair for our wedding. She cut my mother's hair all the time. Like, we would pay for her to go out with us. Her kids would babysit our kids.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was a real slap in the face. But as soon as they had gotten together, that's when they started using CPS as a weapon.
So it wasn't bad enough that they went behind your back and you lost your marriage. They're going.
And she was almost 50 and he was
Classic.
33.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, everybody was like, seriously? Yeah. As it progressed, they kept calling CPS on me. Unfounded. Like, it was ridiculous things like.
Yeah. Tell me about the allegations.
The first time it was my son hiding knives under the couch and playing with fire, bed bugs, mold. I wasn't feeding her properly. If you saw this child, you would know she eats. Okay, like, you better protect your plate.
Yeah.
If she fell down like toddlers do,
Veronica.
CPS, boom. Well, how did she fall? She fell off the slide at the bottom.
And
well,
she
where
was how
were you?
old? She's
3 at the 2.5 at the time, about 3 almost.
Completely normal. I had 2 boys and a girl back to back to back, and they were very rough and tumble. I was always in their pediatrician's office.
Oh, just wait, because there's way more.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Mom.
So, as we progress, I move on and I start dating somebody. And, it's came out that they're together. They tried to play it off for a while like they weren't. It was just one slap in the face after the other, literally. I went to go pick Layla up one time. I'm so sorry, my daughter. And he lived in Hampton and I live in Newport News. It was a Friday. I was running late. It was a problem that I was late. He lives all the way at the end of Hampton. So I get there and I'm talking to him, and the girlfriend's daughter comes out. Now, remember, I told you she was almost 50. She comes out and she's running her mouth and saying things. And I'm like, look, I don't want to fight.
So this is her saying this.
Right. This is the daughter.
Her daughter.
Right. Now, my boyfriend at the time had my son in the truck. And he was like, okay, I don't want him hearing them say nasty things about you. So he put I think it was some kind of kids bop or something real loud. So he didn't have to hear it. Well, my soon to be ex-husband, whatever you want to call him, walks past me to my truck. And I don't even know how to say this. He was like, yo, turn that shit off or something. And he was like, hey, no problem. And as he went to go turn the dial down, he reached inside the window and smacked him across the face. I was like, okay, well, I'm not dealing with this. So I got in the truck and I went down the street to the 7-Eleven and I called the police. And initially, before, I had called the police for an escort, and they would never do it because I knew every single time there was a confrontation at pickup. So progressing along with the story, I get there and the police get there and they take me down the street to go pick my daughter up from her dad's. And of course, they run my license and it was suspended. I didn't know. It is what it is.
It happens all the time here. Oh my gosh,
Right.
the red light cameras, the tickets, and half the time they don't even send it to the right address. I'm sorry.
So now my mother lives all the way in up near Fort Eustis, towards Yorktown or York County. So I had to call my mom and I was like, Mom, can you please come and drive my truck home? And we got to stop by the magistrate because I want to file charges on him for what he did to my boyfriend.
Yeah, no, that's not okay to put your hands on somebody else. We're all adults here. Come on.
Now this is January and it's really cold. So the cop was like, as long as you don't move from this parking space in front of 7-Eleven, you can have the engine running because it's cold and you got your kids. So
why would he not want you to move?
Because my license was suspended and I was waiting for my mother to come. Yeah.
Okay.
So both my parents come and they park directly beside my truck. My mom is riding passenger so she can drive my truck. She goes inside to get a drink and I'm talking to my dad through the passenger window about wanting to go to the magistrate. That's when him and his girlfriend, she's driving a Mercedes SUV, blocks both trucks in front of the 7-Eleven. He gets out, goes around on my dad's side and starts calling him every kind of name, trying to get him out of the truck, knowing he just had neck surgery.
And the police are here or no?
No. And then the daughter comes up in between and she's like, what do we got here? Drug deal, huh? We got a drug deal. I'm like, yo, you need to come get her right now.
They sound, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm like, why are y'all here? There's no reason for you to be here. And as soon as I go to turn away, she spits in my face. This teenage girl. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I know what time it is. This is just another one of their dirty ploys. They want me to beat this girl so I go to jail and they can say I'm unfit. Not happening. I'll take a punch. So she spit in my face and I go to wipe it like this and she punched me in the side of my glasses and it ended up piercing me on the side.
Was anybody recording this incident?
Yeah, the second half was recorded, but nothing happened to her. Literally, she spent 3 months in juvie because she couldn't get out because of the point system. She never fulfilled anything from that. But anyways, so she hits me and I turn to my soon-to-be ex-husband and I'm like, thank you, because you're never going to see her again. This is ridiculous. Well, as I'm telling her mother to get your daughter,
Teresa,
she comes and grabs my hair and pulls me down to the ground.
Jesus.
Well, my mother is telling this woman, look, get your daughter off my daughter. And I'm like, get off me, because I'm not going to hit her, because I know that's what they want.
Mm.
Well, it ends up my mother's like, you remember the V sit and reach when you were in school?
Yes.
That's the position I'm in. Okay. And my mom is on my shoulders.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm just picturing all of this right now. It just sounds like some honky tonk bullshit.
It really was like, and nobody did anything at the 7-Eleven. It was crazy. So my dad can't get out of the truck. He just had surgery. My mom is on my back. She's punching and kicking my mom. She's punching and kicking me. I don't want to hurt anybody. Well, I don't want to hurt her, my mom, you know. I don't know who's who because I don't have my glasses on. And I see that red Converse. And I bit the living shit out of this girl until she let go of me.
God.
So she gets up, and my boyfriend at the time is recording it at this time. And my husband, his girlfriend, and her other daughter are all standing there watching, like all they were missing was a bag of popcorn. And this girl flies off, and you see her like football kick me in the face.
What? Okay.
I had 2 black eyes, a fractured nose.
This is getting out of hand so quick. Please tell me she went to jail.
It took them 3 days in Hampton because of the juvenile situation, which is crap, by the way. They didn't make her pay for nothing. My mom had broken ribs. I mean, it was crazy. And my mom's trying to tell me, oh, forgive them and pray to Jesus. And I'm like, that's really hard.
Yeah, no.
And you messing with my mother now. So we go along with that. I get a protective order on the daughter. So she can't be in the same household as my daughter or around my son or around me. Well, they think they're slick. They say that the garage is a separate address. The whole time I got everybody.
Address.
Right. The whole time she's posting on social media pictures with my daughter, like calling her baby. They were calling her Sookie, which is stupid. She was having her call, the girlfriend was having her call her mom. Yeah, it was. So anyways, as we move along, I had sent the police to do a check. If they say there's nobody there, there's nothing they can do without a warrant. It was never anything done about her breaking the protective order. Let's see, as we go further with this. So that happened, and then we went back to court, and I was like, look, even through all this, I did not want to take my daughter's father away from her. It's not my place.
Very high of you.
It's really hard. Okay. I'm not even joking. It is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
I had to go through the very similar thing.
So for 3 years,
by the way, did yours backfire out of curiosity? Because when I did that to my kid's dad and tried to be the nice one, it fucking backfired like hell.
It has bit me in the ass every step of the way.
Yeah, same. I'm still paying for it.
Yeah, me too. And so after that, they continued with CPS. Now here's the kicker. This is where it gets really ugly. So for 3 years, CPS showing up at my door. I have such bad anxiety and PTSD from this man. It's unreal. It is just unreal. And then he ends up breaking up with this girl, or if you can call her a girl, woman, granny, whatever. They break up, and they didn't break up. She didn't know they broke up. He starts messing around with his other friend's sister, who's older.
You need to put this guy on a leash. Dang.
And she lost her kid. She lost her kid due to drugs and wanted to play mommy to my kid. So he kept trying to
imagine what these kids are going through this whole time.
Oh, it's horrible.
Shuffled around. I'm calling this person mom this day. I'm calling this person mom the next day. That's not stable, and that's not healthy for them. That's not healthy for their development.
Oh, it gets worse. So this is out of all the allegations. Now, at this time, I had been unfounded 6 times for 6 different things through CPS. The 7th time, I get a knock on my door, and it's my daughter's time with her dad, so she's not here. It's just me and my son.
Mm-hmm.
And I get a knock on the door, and they're like, yeah, you got to sign this, and you can't be around her until we do an investigation. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are the allegations? What allegations? And they're like, sexual assault allegations. And I'm like, what? And they won't
This is
tell
like the
me.
new trend now. Is this like a fucking trend that people are just doing because they can? That's a
They
serious
won't tell
accusation.
me.
I'm going through the same thing, and I'm hearing this more and more. What the
Right, and
hell,
I'm
guys?
like,
What is wrong? What is wrong with you people?
right. So get this. You know how they got like 60 days to get their shit together? Well,
Yeah.
they do that. And when we went to court, because after you do that or whatever, and she never left me anything but a pamphlet that was completely worthless. I kept calling and calling. And I was like, this is my life.
Did you
This
sign
is
the
your
paper?
job.
Did you sign that paper?
I did.
They tricked you with the safety plan bullshit. You have to sign
Yep.
this paper or we're going to take your
Yep.
kids, blah, blah, blah. You're signing.
Yep.
Don't ever sign anything, guys. Listen to me. When these people show up at your door, do not sign anything. You are signing away your rights. Do not do that.
I
Not
didn't
the
know
rights of
that.
your kids, but your rights on that case. You're basically agreeing to the allegations.
Well, listen.
But they don't
After
say that. They won't tell you that. But that's
When we
exactly
went-
what happens.
when we went to court, our judge said, if it's found unfounded, then visitation goes back to the way it was. So as soon as I got the call that it was unfounded, like I knew it would be,
For the 7th time.
right, the 7th time, I got to see her 2 weeks worth before he had another allegation saying that my boyfriend put handcuffs on her and that I sleep all day and I leave her alone with her brother. And I mean, just crazy. Like I had my boyfriend and my male roommate that I've lived with for almost 8 years that was also here when I was with my husband, stay with the kids one Sunday morning while I walked to the corner store to get donuts and chocolate milk for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn, it got turned into I left them alone. And yeah, so then they did
But
it
there was
again.
another adult there, yes?
There were 2 adults.
Okay. But how did this even get back to him to make him say that?
I guess he asked her what she did today, or, what'd you eat for breakfast?
How old is your daughter?
She just turned 5 in October.
Oh, so he's okay. I was under the impression that she was older.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
Oh.
So for 3 years, I tried working with the Hampton police because I was like, look, he is a cocaine dealer. He does cocaine. I do not want him around my kid. Please help me. And I kept calling anonymously. I kept calling to the drug detective. No one would listen to me. And sorry.
Okay.
And no one would help me. Well, finally, we meet with the guardian ad litem for the allegations. And she's like, well, what makes you think she was coaxed? I said, I picked this pen up off of her desk. And I said, this is a blue pen, right? I said, well, if I tell my daughter that it's pink enough times, she gonna tell you that pen's pink.
Good analogy. Way to spell it out for these fucking idiots, these cockroaches.
Yep.
Okay.
And I told her, I said, you would think that 2 and 2 would put together. Somebody in this agency could read something that's written down like, hey, he's playing with the system.
Yeah, they all do.
So she makes him do a hair follicle. He denied it the first time, but they made him the second time.
Mine waited 90 days and shaved his head, and they literally watched him go from a Filipino ponytail to a bald head the next court date, and they laughed about it. They made a joke about it. Oh, well, Your Honor, we're still waiting on his follicle test because, it's got to grow back first. Haha.
Yeah, I got 3 little bald spots in the middle of my head because I had to take one too. But because it's only fair. But he did test positive for cocaine, and I didn't know there was 2 different types of cocaine you could have in your system. Learn something new every day. I also learned that the babysitter who swore up and down that the allegations were true, and he was supposed to be staying with her when he broke up with the first girl.
Oh, so he's dating his babysitter now.
No, he's not. No, she babysat my daughter and my son, but she was trying to say that it was true, and she wasn't in fear of him being around her, so she let them stay there till he could get on his feet.
Okay.
Well, apparently, after I'd spoke to the guardian ad litem, the babysitter called the court to get a hold of the guardian ad litem of our case and revoked everything that she had said and wanted to testify, I guess, something about him taking drugs in front of Layla or having drugs out in front of Layla or selling in front of her. I don't know. We'll know when I go to court in May.
Okay. That's another pet peeve that I have. Let me stop you right there. Even if you make a statement or write something down on an affidavit, you're under oath. And perjury really, when are we going to start making perjury a punishable crime? It's a class 5 to 6 felony.
Well, I got another one for you.
With a minimum of 6 months jail time.
When he was with the first girl, now I've had him blocked on social media since he walked out my door. I put him out my house because he was selling drugs.
Okay.
He oh my gosh, so sorry.
It's okay. Take your time. Take your time.
He I'm so sorry. What did I just say before that?
So we were talking about
yes,
the
okay.
babysitter called the courts revoked.
Right. So when he was still with the hairdresser, I get a picture at dinner on my daughter's 3rd birthday of her in a dress that I bought her, standing on top of her dad. Her dad is naked sitting on the toilet. She's in a dress standing on him looking out a window. And the girlfriend posts it to Facebook and 90-some people react to it and nobody says how disgusting it is. But it was screenshot and sent to me. I show it to CPS. I show it to the police. Nothing's done. Nothing is mentioned. Nothing's done. And when my lawyer threatened to show it in court, that's when he wanted to cooperate and do 50-50. But he was just brewing up the next thing, which was the allegations against my son.
Oh, Jesus. Then he moves on to the son. Now, at what point is CPS and these fucking excuse me, I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
So when the CPS worker is going to wake up and realize what he's doing.
And here's the thing also, with him selling drugs.
They know what he's doing. That's the problem.
You're right. Well, it's not his kid. And it was a big problem in our marriage. He's held on to this kid that's got a lot of problems. The mother didn't put him into school until he was 8. I had handcuffs on me one time because this broad was not putting her kid in school. Okay. Anyways, the kid's got a lot of problems, has made sexual gestures to me. And I'd say he's about 14 now. But I think, and she also called him Bubby, like my son. And my mother has said something, I have said something, and we're like, if anything like that happened, we need it to be investigated, this other boy, because we know for a fact that he has made sexual advances and, out of age, like inappropriate age stuff, saying things sexually. So if something like that happened, I feel like it would have been him. It would not have been my son, her biological brother, who has, oh, by the way, I've raised 4 other girls that aren't mine from a previous relationship. One's a nurse and one's doing great things in her life also. My daughter just turned 18, my biological daughter. And then I have my 10-year-old son and my 5-year-old daughter. I've taken care of so many kids and, I've done so many amazing things in my life. And I think it's total horse shit that they can keep playing with CPS. My son and my daughter have not seen each other since August. And if somebody was messed with, why would they keep saying, when can I see Bubby? What is Bubby doing? They're missing holidays, birthdays. Yeah. And here's the kicker. My daughter's birthday was on October 14th. She turned 5. We went to court that day. His test results for his hair follicle had came back, or the allegations for whatever with the babysitter. And they removed her from his care. Because remember, she couldn't be in my care because I can only have one kid. And my son only has one parent, and that's me. Well, my mother, thank God for my mother. I feel so bad for anything I ever did as a kid against her. That woman is a saint.
You were a
She
kid.
really
You
is.
didn't know any better.
She went to court, and because she had went with me to the guardian ad litem, the guardian ad litem had a good feeling about her. And my parents have opened up their home. It's unreal. They get up in their Kool-Aid, okay? They had to remove their guns from their home. They had to take all these classes. It's their finances, their vehicles, their taxes. I mean, it's unreal. And I told the guardian ad litem that day, and it was her birthday, so she was supposed to be coming home. Well, they messed up the paperwork, so I had to wait a day for her to get to my mom's. But my baby spent her 5th birthday in foster care because of her dad and playing with CPS. And now I've had to do the parental mental evaluation, which took time out of my life I'm never going to get back. How many different ways you going to ask me if I want to kill myself? You know what I mean? Like, no, the answer is no. It's just unreal. Everything. I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, about 3 years ago, back in 2019, I'm having such a problem with this man co-parenting that I, on my own, go take a co-parent class that lasts 4 hours.
I did the same thing. I can't get over how similar our stories are in so many more ways that I can say on this show right now. This is insane. Okay.
So then we move on to these allegations.
I even brought flyers for this class to the court with me because I learned a couple of cool things I never thought about.
Right.
See how far that got me? I got fucking railroaded. That's what I got.
But look, this is what they told me. They're like, okay, well, that was 3 years ago. I'm like, well, are they going to teach something different? Would you like me to give you a rundown? You want to give me a test? You know what I mean? Like, seriously, how many hoops are y'all going to make me jump through? Now I got to go take of course, my son had to do a mental evaluation. Of course he passed. You know what I mean? And
how old is your son that they were making him do this?
He's 10 now. He just turned 10 in June.
They measured. I'm sorry, come again. How old was he when he had to take this evaluation?
10.
They made a 10-year-old take a mental health evaluation. A 10-year-old.
They tested my daughter too.
How old is your 5-year-old?
She was 4 at the time. So she was coaxed. When she went in there, they coaxed her.
Into saying or doing what?
Saying that her brother touched her and whatever else she said. They didn't really tell me what she said. But apparently the allegations were that he touched her privates. And I know that's not true at all. Okay? There's no way. I don't play that. My kids are not like that. And I don't leave my kids alone. So there's no way possible it could happen. And everybody that knows my son, he has 4 stepsisters and 2 biological sisters. He has nothing but respect for women. He doesn't have a male figure in his life. He has his mother. So he has nothing but respect for women. And like when we get out of the pool at my mom's, my son would be like, girl, you better go in the bathroom and take that off. Don't nobody want to see that. Or pull your pants up, you know? So it's just unreal. I've seen coworkers have seen what this man has put me through. I've went to go pick her up and it wasn't early enough for him with my job. And I called the police and there's nothing I could do. He kept her and told me I could come get her the next morning instead of just giving her to me. Like, he's very narcissist and he thinks he's in charge. And he has to do his visitation at the building, social services. I do mine at my mom. I do mine at my mom's. I don't have to be in a room with a mirror. I think everybody involved in this case knows that I'm 100% innocent, and my son too. And I'm just waiting for it to play out. And really, this is sad, but you know what? I'm okay with it. In May, my parents will get custody of Layla. I'm sorry, my daughter. And I'm okay with it because then all I got to do is, go through the steps to get her back from my parents, which is fine by me because then the foster care.
So sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, my
parents' daughter who got adopted out, a 15-year-old who's finally being reunified, but she's not fit for the baby, they say. That's so hard. How can you, just like in your situation, how can you be fit for one child but not the other? I mean, what kind of asinine shit is that? How does that even make sense? How are you supposed to find justice in a system that's literally contradictory in and of itself?
Yes.
You're right, Teresa. They are fucking they're psychotic. They're psychotic. And I'm sorry for interrupting. Go ahead.
Oh, Teresa, she's known my son since he was in diapers. She babysat him.
Oh, hey, Teresa. Thanks for coming on.
She's like a second mom, grandma. Our families are real close.
That's good. It's great to have a support system. It's one of the only ways I've survived this myself.
Nowhere in this whole time has any character witnesses on my behalf been an option in my case. If I was to bring my grown kid and my grown stepdaughters and everybody that's been around my son and daughter together, I mean, there's your proof.
Are you saying they're not giving you the opportunity to bring on character witnesses?
Correct. It hasn't even been mentioned.
That's interesting. Are they, let me guess, are they also forcing your evidence to be shut out from the record and from trial?
I don't even know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Do you have a private attorney or has one been appointed?
I reached out. I've had legal aid since I've been going through the custody with my ex-husband.
Okay.
And I've had the same lawyer. But when we did I did an appeal for the protective order against the daughter, and I won. I had another lawyer, and he was amazing. So when my lawyer went out on maternity leave, I was like, "Can I please have him?"
Yeah.
And I feel good with the lawyers that I have, but I feel like I had to light a fire underneath of her because when we went to
you can't leave it up to them.
When we went to the guardian ad litem, I was telling the guardian ad litem, I'm like, yeah, I can't get a hold of my lawyer. Da 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 da. Can you believe this? And the lady next to me is giving me this strange look, right? And she's like, you do know I'm your attorney, right? I was like, really? I wouldn't have guessed it.
Oh shit.
And I was dead serious.
Oh God. So you had just met her.
Yeah, I had just met her because I had another lady that left legal aid, I guess, to go to a higher up practice over in Virginia Beach somewhere. I don't even know what law she's practicing now, but I had to light a fire under her in the beginning too. But once she got going,
That's good. That's good. I'm glad for you on that. So where are you in the case right now?
I just did my co-parent thing again.
Your PCE, your parenting capacity evaluation, is that what you mean, or your co-parenting class?
The co-parenting class, and I just did that 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
You know where they want
you had the results come back yet?
No, I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay.
But I'm pretty confident. I mean, I took sociology, psychology. I went to school for, criminal. I did interrogations and
very cool.
And I kept telling him, I was like, if you're going to ask this many questions, at least make sure they're proper grammar. This looks like a foreigner wrote this in English.
Really?
Come on.
That's what the test was like?
It was no lie. I'm not exaggerating. It was from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. both times. And it was like, if we weren't interacting with our daughter by ourselves, then we were reading something like I guess how smart we are. And then it was like questions like absurd questions like, are you happy with the appearance of your child? Are you disappointed in the appearance of your child? Do you think spanking is appropriate? It just was redundant over and over and over again, like the same 7 to 8 questions, just in a different way, 1,700 ways. Because I kept track. One booklet would have 300, then you get on the tablet, it'd be 700. It was exhausting mentally.
Hey, so attention to Vicky. Our radio show is so saturated by people trying to call in that every once in a while, the phone lines literally break. So just keep calling. If that happens, call again during the show. Just keep calling. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. I mean, he has done nothing but run my name through the dirt and my son. Now I've got people in Hampton thinking that my 10-year-old son is a pedophile. or whatever you would call it, a sexual.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be a pedophile if you're still a child. I was just kind of thinking on that.
So it would be like what, like a sexual abuse, or I don't know. They're not thinking highly of him, and it's not right.
Now, who's they?
People who he's told. I mean, the last girlfriend he was with.
Don't have him talk about that to people. It's
Oh,
shitty as that sounds.
Well,
people will judge you. People judge me when I tell them my story, and I stopped talking about it.
You know, it's really bad, like, to get sympathy out of people. And I mean, he depicted this whole story like I knew all about it and I let it happen. And anyways, the second girlfriend, not the hairdresser, but the next girl, her brother reached out to me on the 4th of July and was like, look, I don't know what's up. I had him living at my house. I had to kick him out because he was selling drugs and doing coke in my house. He's with my sister. She lost her kid because of cocaine. You know, don't let her be alone with my sister. I'm just giving you a heads up. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that they were not staying at the babysitter's house. They were staying in hotels, having that boy I was telling you about, the other kid, and my daughter in a hotel room with him and his girlfriend, with my daughter laying up in between him and his girlfriend.
That is so inappropriate. And
yeah.
Did the courts ever step in at this point?
Nobody ever did anything. Every time I ever said anything, nothing happened. But they can make up any allegation they want to. And, you know, it is what it is. We have to investigate it. But when it's me, it's nothing. There's no laws being broken.
Hey, guys, if you're watching, please support our page by sending in stars. It helps us a lot, help you guys. So all of your support is very much appreciated. So where are you in the whole court phase at this point? Do you know?
I know he's doing like an outpatient type therapy, rehabilitation or whatever. I don't know, because I've never had a drug problem. I did test positive for THC on my hair follicle. And when we did our little meeting, Zoom meeting, they were like, well, there's nothing we can do. It's legal.
Yeah. Thank you. Hello. Okay.
Yep. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to sit here and take narcotics because I have to have surgery on my neck. And I'm not going to have him try to say, oh, well, she's on drugs. That's why I was like, you know what? I don't want to put my body through this anymore. So I just went to the more natural remedy and I'm okay with it. And as soon as they said it was legal in July, I was on it. Yeah. But it's just like alcohol. You don't sit there and get drunk in front of your kids. You don't leave it out where they can get a hold of it.
But remember, they are, even though alcohol and cannabis are legal, they still are drugs and they still need to be taken in moderation.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
You know, they can be abused. You can't, you know, people argue all day long, well, you can't die from weed. No one's ever died from weed. Yeah, but you can be, you know, a villain or a piece of couch potato, you know. Yep.
Like, so, I can't go to work high. I can't deal with my children high. That's something for when they're not with me, or, you know, it's late at night and I'm going to sleep. That's what it is. It's not something I do all the time, every day, all day. I got stuff to do. So.
Oh, Brittany, they tried to use THC against you. Yeah. And that's sadly, it really depends on your case. So that's why, you know, I want to relay to parents, still be careful with that kind of stuff. I was talking to somebody the other day. They were testing her for ether, which is alcohol. And I mean, I've never heard of anything where they're like,
I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it a couple times now. And unfortunately, I think that I'm going to start hearing it more. So, tell me what's going on with your daughter. How often do you see her? Do you expect her custody to be returned?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm going to just go ahead and, you know, let my parents get custody of her. It's going to be a lot easier for me.
Okay. And your parents would never withhold you from her?
Nope. My mom's like, I can let it slide that way. She said she's going to return because my daughter's a little parrot right now. She's like, oh, girl, when you get this package, I'm going to wrap it in a bow for you. Because this is my brother moved out and got a house. So it was supposed to be them, the dog, and whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it.
Yeah.
And then here comes my my baby. So
yeah.
I
I'm
put a
sure
little,
they enjoy it though, and it's great that
oh,
she's in a stable environment.
and my dad tries to act, like, oh, this is all your fault. But then he's buying school pictures and buying her dolls and come love Papa,
That is
Uh,
so sweet.
so yeah, there's not a fear in me at all that my child will be returned to me. My parents do not want to keep her from me. They do not want to keep her from her father. And here's a kicker. They've developed a very good relationship with Layla, my daughter's father's parents, and they have cut their son off because
The
he said,
paternal grandparents are friends with your parents.
yes.
Oh.
I sat with them in court.
Oh, does that not? Now that says something. That says something. When your
We're a
own
team.
biological family not only has cut you off, but they're sitting on the other side against you. That's huge. That's huge.
He said, look, he cut him off financially. He was like, I'm not going to give my son money anymore. He's going to put it up his nose or buy something stupid. He's not going to do anything productive with it. And he got mad. He wouldn't even talk to him when they went to court. He talked to my dad, my mom, but he would not talk to his parents.
Probably because he was ashamed. They didn't want to hear
and
his BS.
He should. It takes everything out of me not to look this man in the face and be like, this is all your fault. Every single part of it is your fault.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not going to do it.
Just going to give him it's just going to give him satisfaction. Actually,
he wants to see why I don't do it.
He will be proud. He will be proud at the fact that all of this chaos is his doing. Don't give him all that credit. Don't give him all that credit.
Yep. It's hard, but I just kind of just turn red because I just I've never seen anything like it in my life. How big of a narcissist he is. Like, he really thinks he's in charge and he's untouchable. And I don't even know how to explain it to you. Like, the way people see him in the streets is not how he is behind closed doors. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
My supervisor, Georgette, she has her shows, Fight CPS, or Family Members Fight CPS. And she said something along the lines the other day, and I kind of ruminated on it. And I was like, you know what? I think this might be true. She said, justice comes when you least expect it. He's going to get his when he least expects it and when you least expect it. So don't waste too much of your energy holding on to that. And I know that's hard. Literally the other night, I said this on the show. And so my thing to calm down, because I have these cycles, once a month, I'll suppress and suppress and suppress because I've had no contact with my kids for months. I am getting railroaded like you would not believe in this case. It is so fucked up. So I literally I take a bath to calm down, right? And even that didn't help. I ended up screaming and crying myself to sleep. I was screaming at the top of my lungs. And yes, let that out, but don't hold on to that hate,
And you know what's hard is when you have one of your children with you every day asking about the other one, and you have to hold it together and you have to find time to cry in the shower when they're asleep so they don't hear you.
It takes a lot of strength. I remember those days. And
I got before they even said anything, because CPS thinks they're God, they come up with everything.
Oh, they play God all day long. That's the worst part about it. Not only do they think it, they actually do fucking play God with our lives.
Yeah.
And they're
I'm
untouchable.
I'm beat you to the punch. I already put my son in therapy. That's how I know I got freaking PTSD and anxiety. I'm on anxiety medication, and it wasn't even my therapist. It was my actual doctor that put me on. He was like, look, I saw you 6 months ago. Something's up. Talk to me. And he put me on some, so I can actually he is an excellent doctor. He was like, you don't have to do it long term. It's not going to be addictive. And it's starting to kick in. It's probably been about a week and a half now I've been taking it. And I can actually think about one thing at a time.
You're not in fight or flight mode. That's good.
Every time my doorbell rings, though, that's a different story, girl, because that's my stomach in the butt.
That is definitely PTSD.
I'm like, don't answer the door.
No, we're not here. Everybody hide.
It's like Jehovah's Witnesses and trick-or-treaters all at once.
Dang right. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that you were going through this ridiculous issue.
But
So,
my parents are great. Like when my daughter isn't in school. Oh, here's another thing with her education. When he was with the first girl, I offered for her to be in a school in Newport News. I had her the majority of the time. And I was like, look, this is a great school. You can at any time pick your phone up and look at our daughter on camera. No one can just walk in and take her. It'd be on your way to work. We would never have to communicate. It's great. He didn't want to do it. And I had half of it paid for through TANF.
I was in the same situation a few years ago before shit hit the fan, and he did the same thing. Is there something in the water over here?
I don't know, but he put her in some like Lutheran Mormon church where they do like drug meetings and
It wasn't Mormon. I spent a bunch of time in the Mormon church because my parents were. Oh God, I left it when I was a teenager.
All I know is this much: I didn't want her there.
Yeah,
and
no.
He was like, "Well, you can come check it out, right?" I walk right in the school, right to the classroom, pick her up, walk out, get in my mom's truck, and leave. No one ever even stopped me.
Ooh, what? You didn't even say who you were?
Nope. I just picked, it was my time, and I didn't want her in the school, and I picked her up, and I walked right up.
Nobody asked any questions. That's a big safety issue.
Exactly. But, he wouldn't give a thought to my school where you had to be buzzed in and then get your name and, match you up.
Which is how it should be.
Yep.
Huh.
This is another one. After he had me and my mother attacked, I took my daughter to the doctor, and he thought it was okay to just show up. Like, why I want to be in a little room with you, with my kid? I don't trust you. So I put her in another CHKD, and he goes and takes her medical records. Now her insurance is through me, through Medicaid, and puts her in the Hampton CHKD. And there's nothing I can do about it. I couldn't even have access to my child's records.
I dealt with the same thing. Unfortunately, there's really no way around that. He's got the same rights as you do.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. My problem is, why are you going to take her out of my pediatrician's office where she's been going?
That's why he did it, because he can.
He's such a dick. I'm trying to tell you.
That's what they do.
I just want my divorce and my life back.
You just got to, unfortunately, for the next, 10 years, you got to put up with it.
Longer than that. She's only 5.
I can't do math. I'm going to have a really hard time on the LSAT.
And here's another thing.
Y'all pray for me.
He wanted to drag my boyfriend into the mix, I guess because he's jealous of him or whatever the case may be.
He doesn't want you to be happy. If he can't have complete control over you, he will never want you to be happy, and he will do everything that he can to make sure that doesn't happen.
So then he wants to drag him in and make him do a hair follicle test and a background and everything. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. I love you, but I'm not doing it. They can kiss my ass.
Well, if CPS requires, I'm surprised that CPS didn't make him do a background check already.
He's like, I'm not doing it.
Well, if it comes down to it, he better do it for you and for the child.
I would really hope so. But as of now, he doesn't want to be a
choice.
Yeah, I'm always going to pick my kids first. I do love him, but my kids are my priority, and he knows that, and he respects that, and he also even agreed that, because it's going to, I'm not a dummy. I know it's going to have to be a gradual introduction back to the home, and it'll be like an overnight here, an overnight there, till it works its way up as they've explained it to me.
Which it shouldn't have to be like that. Actually, I disagree. That's what I say to them, when I have to. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll do it slowly. No, your kids will get right back into the groove like nothing ever happened. That's how it was when they were at my house. Like they cut me off from my kids like 6 months at a time here, 4 months at a time there. I'm at almost a year now. And when they came back home, those couple times, it was like we didn't even miss a day,
How do they keep getting away with making these false allegations against us?
It's very fucked up. They need to start persecuting perjurers, and they need to start prosecuting, people who lie on. And when you call the hotline, which I've
Oh,
been
he
told. I
lied.
wouldn't know because I've never fucking called it, despite what CPS has said.
Every single time he's went to court, he's lied.
When are we going to
Like,
start holding perjurers and
like when he slapped
accountable?
look, when he slapped my ex-boyfriend, he went to court and he brought some guy that wasn't even there and said that it never happened.
Just to make you
And
feel
of course, my ex was like, I forgive him. I hope you guys do too. And I'm looking at him like, you's a punk, man. Like, I'll be damned. I stood up in the courtroom. I was like, no, that's not, of course, that doesn't make you look any better. But it's like the justice just enrages me so much that this man is just getting away with everything. Like, he's just got a big old horseshoe up his rear end.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. I mean, I know, pick and choose your battles, but I'm really trying my best to just go with the motions and ride it out till my parents have full control.
Yes, and that's a good strategy. Keep working with your attorneys.
And I would like to work to, I don't know where to even start to pass a bill or something, get a petition going to where people can.
You might not be able to do this, but it's an idea. Have you ever thought about being a CASA worker? It's a volunteer job, but you get to work with children one-on-one and families in their cases. And you can maybe use your experience to help people. I have an idea. I would like to create an institution that strictly advocates for parents in CPS cases. Like, for example, when you're going to the hospital for a major surgery or something, you don't have a support system, and you don't really know what's going on. There are patient advocates there who can, walk you through the process and explain your rights and explain what's going on. I want there to be an institution that has access to when these fuckers are going to knock on somebody's door and try to take their kids. There needs to be a completely unrelated advocate there for the parents to explain, no, you don't have to answer the door. No, you don't have to sign that paper. No, you don't have to do any of this shit.
I didn't know that.
Nobody knows that until it's too late and they know this.
I had 2 cops.
Teresa, I feel you, girl. I feel you.
I've had 2 cops and 2 CPS workers that barely spoke English, by the way, which I don't understand. When I guess you could have called him my wannabe stepson at the time, because I, married to his wannabe stepdaddy or whatever you want to call him. I was terrified. I had handcuffs on me. I'm like, look, it's not my kid. Not my kid. Go away. Here's my kid's badge. My kid goes to school. Not my kid. Like, and I'm like, there's nothing left today. I turn around to go in my house. The cop shoves me in through the door, into the bush, and then into the house, and puts handcuffs on me and slams me down in my recliner. And finally,
that's excessive force.
Right. And my husband at the time.
CPS workers need body cams. I say, damn right.
They do because they really, there are some good ones.
The travesties. There are some good ones.
Yeah, I've had a couple.
Do you have any idea the shit that they would be found out for if they were forced to wear body cams? But then I've lost so much faith
here's
in the system
kicker.
At this point.
This is what I did.
Who's going to hold them accountable anyway? Who's
this is what I did.
Prosecute? Fucking nobody.
After 6 months of watching this kid not be put in school, being 8 years old, can't wipe his own ass, doesn't know how to learn anything, never been diagnosed. I believe he has Asperger's or something along the lines of that. And needed help with that because they learn differently. Never, like, she was embarrassed to put her kid in school. And, for me to have, like, after 6 months of this shit, I go to the Newport News police station. I'm like, look, this is what's going to happen. Either you're going to make his mother put him in school, or I'm going to press charges on you for what you did to me back in April. And the very next day, the police were at their house, and the next week he was enrolled in school.
Where are these people when you need them? And they're always somewhere they don't belong. Yet they're never there. Never there.
It's like, where are they at?
Always in a place where they do not belong. Where is the justice in that?
And my stepdaughters and my daughter, they're all over 18 years old, and They're doing great
Yes.
things in their life. I've been a good role model. My stepkids, their parents were on drugs and had things going on in their lives. I had to be the stable co-parent
Yeah.
because even though they're not blood related to my son, they have the same last name, and that's their brother. And I had to be the adult. So it's like so hard for me to understand how like CPS is doing this to me. I've been so responsible and done such great things for kids. So I don't get it. I don't quit kids. I quit bad relationships.
Yes. Don't kill yourself trying to figure out all the whys, because I don't think we'll ever fully, I don't think like the people, you know, with light in us and not demons are ever going to understand why these people do what they do. And, you know, all you can do is just keep moving forward one step at a time. You're a part of a really good support system. You know, you have someone to talk to. If you just need to talk to someone, you know, we're here for you and we understand what you're going through. Now, if your daughter was listening to this right now, what would you want her to know?
Which one? The youngest one?
Yes. Or either one of them. Both of them that have been involved in this system.
Actually, if there's a Shania up there, that's my 18-year-old, if you see her. And then Taylor, that's my stepdaughter. But if I could say anything to any of my daughters, including my stepdaughters, it would be always stand up for yourself, no matter what. What's the worst that happens? You know, like I feel so lame for laying down and accepting what CPS has told me, because I am ashamed of myself at the stigma I have put on other women who have lost their children. I'm like, well, they probably deserved it, or she must have been on drugs, or, you know, and, you know, after hearing Brittany's story and a bunch of others, I can't watch it all the time. I start bawling and crying. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I just gotta walk away.
Y'all should see me when I turn off the camera. I need a few
Right
minutes.
before we got started, I almost started crying.
Yeah.
Like, it's a trigger for me.
Yeah.
And I try to be supportive. If you ask anybody, I go out of my way every day to reach out to at least 5 of my friends. And how you doing? How's it going?
That's
because we all got things. We all got things going on, and you know, there's a reason why my stepdaughters have clung to me, and you know, they ask me how to cook something or what my opinion or whatever.
Okay,
I think
Brittany,
I did
I'll
a good
take a
job.
look.
I think I did a good job on raising the 3 that are over 18. So
I'm sure.
just riding the motions. I mean,
yeah.
My dad's a tough cookie, but he'll give me my daughter back.
Great. So. And it sounds like this is really, you know, it could be so much worse. So I'm really, really, really glad that
I talk to her every day on video
the light
chat.
is at the end of the tunnel. Good. Thank goodness.
And every Saturday.
So hard not having her home.
I forgot to tell you this. CPS gave me freaking Corona.
Wow.
2 days. Look, she comes in my house. 2 days later, I'm at my job on my second day of work. And she calls me and she's like, yeah, I just tested positive for Corona. And I'm like, oh, that sucks, you know? And the next day, I feel like I got a center block on the top of my head. Then my son got it. Then my 18-year-old daughter got it because we both work at the same place.
Yeah.
It was just terrible. Like, they don't care.
Well, Brittany says, don't be ashamed. We've all had the stigma about CPS and people till it happens to us. And we will get through it together, Brittany. Thank you.
You know that anybody like I've ever said anything like, I'm so sorry. If I only knew, you know, which isn't an excuse, but it's fucking horrible.
It is.
CPS
it's the
and
worst
foster
thing
care
that you could
are a
put
joke.
any human being through. It is the absolute worst type of torture you can put a human being through. Point blank, period. I dare you to disagree with me, guys. Like, I'm serious. I would rather be slowly tortured. Like, back when this case was like when the shit was hitting the fan, if you walked up to me, I'm dead serious. If you could literally walk up to me and say, you'll have your kids back, but you have to cut your arm off. Where's the chainsaw, motherfucker? Hand it over. I will cut my arm off right now to end this pain. Nothing worse. And I've been through a lot of shit in my life. I've never been through anything like this.
Oh, I love you too, Brittany.
Well, Tracy, thank you so much for sharing your story with us tonight. We are out of time. Guys, join me every Monday for CPS current events, and join me every Thursday for Fight CPS, the Civil Rights Struggle. And we have a new show coming up on Friday. I'm not sure exactly what time it's going to be yet, but I call it Fight With Me Fridays. We're going to learn about dealing with our trauma. We're going to learn about self-care. We're going to learn about our mental health and how to keep up with it, because we are the most important common denominator in this equation. We have to take care of ourselves. Okay. We have to do it to fight for our kids. So thank you again, Tracy, for sharing. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you for letting me share. And I really hope,
Anytime.
you know, my experience is helping somebody not to feel alone in this situation.
Yes, we all have to.
Because you don't even have to do anything wrong for them to come and take your kids from you.
No, they completely fabricate things just to traffic them and make money. That's what this is all about, is money.
I want to make a change. I don't care if it's the last thing I do. I really would like for this never to happen to anybody again. Yeah. It's horrible.
It is. Well, write some ideas down, get a piece of paper, talk to people. If there's a will, there's a way. And revolution is starting to happen. It's happening now. And
oh yeah, me and Brittany have been talking about it.
Good, good, good. Well, thank you again, everyone. You guys have a great evening, and I will see you guys. It starts next Friday, so I will see you guys on Monday. And you take care, Tracy. Contact me soon and let me know how things are going, and you'll be hearing from me shortly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.